Jer Bear here. This may be a non-starter, but I was just thinking about how normal it is in my income level, which is middle income at best in the Midwest, to take anything that someone has put out on the street. Like, that's a normal, socially acceptable behavior, that if someone puts trash out. Now, of course, it's an appalling thought to go through someone's trash can. If the trash items are enclosed, you can't touch them. But if someone puts out their old couch on the side of the road, now couches, I wouldn't do upholstered items, but I'm just saying, it's fair game. And that strikes me as super normal, but also super odd. And I thought maybe we could ask, your listeners if maybe it's a regional thing or maybe I'm just poor. I don't know. But I don't know. The etiquette around just taking other people's trash is something that's pretty well established, having never been talked about in the Midwest.
Interesting.
Good. Quick insert there. If you leave us questions or for the answers from the middle segment, they are anonymous. He happened to ID himself, but you can send us an email or a message or a text if you want them to be anonymous. But thank you for the question. This is great. Kendall, I think you were going to jump in.
Well, no, I was just as he was talking there, the thought crossed my mind that he's right for the most part, that if it's enclosed in a trash bin or certainly in a trash bag, you don't go opening it up to rummage through. But if a whole couch is sitting out, like, that's fair game because it's not in anything. My question is it acceptable then to rummage through the couch to find change?
If
that's a gray area.
It's out there.
I think it's out there. Yeah. It's funny. I remember I've apartment hopped a lot in the last 10 years. I remember moving out of one apartment and I had Corey, you actually helped me move it. I had a hand-me-down, a free couch and love seat. They were blue. They were not something I was ever going to take to another place, but I needed them at this place. And I remember waiting for a nice weather day to have you come help me take them to the dumpster because they weren't high-end couches. They were free to me. They were like blue with like flowers on them or something, but I knew they were certainly in nice enough condition that I didn't want them to sit out in the rain and get trashed. They weren't like ripped or scuffed or anything. And so I remember thinking we need to wait for kind of a nice day or two. And you helped me drive them around. You brought your van. You helped me drive them around the apartment complex to the dumpster. We did that with one of them. We went back to get the other one. And by the time that we were back to the dumpster, some people were already loading it into because we set it by the dumpster. And, apartment complexes, they're huge bins. They're not like just already loading it in and then probably seeing us bring the other piece. And I remember being delighted by that. Like, it wasn't something I needed anymore. I didn't pay for it, so I didn't feel like I had to keep it. But I also remember thinking, I hope these go somewhere. I'd hate for them to just get tossed in the dumpster. They're nice enough that anyone could use them. And so absolutely, it's fair game. I agree to not rummage through a trash bag or a small trash can. But, if somebody sets out any number of things that could still be good by the trash, go for it.
Mm-hmm. We do have in our neighborhood, I haven't seen them in a while, but pickers who are metal recyclers, right? They're looking for metal on trash day that they can put in the back of their pickup truck and then go get money for it. And that has absolutely never bothered me, because like he did used to, like, he would open up our trash bins and like look for some obvious metal and load it up. And there was one day where we had like one of those bagsters, like the big green bag you can buy at Home Depot, and then they come in with a big crane and take it out. I had one of those filled up, and I saw him come around more than once to like rummage through that thing, and never had a problem with it. And then on like next door or one of the local whatever community things, like there were people complaining about this guy, and I was thinking to myself, like, why do you care? Because this particular guy, anyway, he was not leaving a mess behind at all. Like even if he did open up a bag or anything, like he put everything. Like I watched him take things out of the bagster as he was digging, and then I watched him put it all back.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was fine. Like I never understood what the big deal there was, but I could see if it's the wrong person, just leaving a mess, attracting the coons.
What, Kendall, was it you that talked about maybe your maybe Amy had, there was some kind of community group where people like will toss out like, hey, we're gonna get rid of this, like almost like a sale page, but it's specifically just for free stuff.
Yes, it's called different communities have the same thing, the Buy Nothing, they're Facebook groups. So there's like a Buy Nothing Gahanna, there's a Buy Nothing Pataskala probably.
Yeah.
And it's just that you get on there and you say, hey, we're not using these wine glasses anymore. Does anybody want them? And then you'll get 15 people to say, yeah, I'll take them. And then the etiquette there is you wait a day or two so that people have a chance to see it and respond. And then you just come up with your own way of randomizing who gets it. By the same token, you could post on there and be like, we just bought an inflatable pool for our kids. Does anybody have a pump we can borrow for a day or two? And then somebody will say, yeah, sure. Here's our address. Come get it.
I love that. Our neighborhood has a Facebook group as well. And they'll just do like a first come, first serve. Like, hey, our child has outgrown this bicycle with training wheels. It's going to be in the area of grass between the road and the sidewalk. Here's our address. Come get it. And if you get there and it's gone, it's like tough cookies. And they'll do that with sectionals or lazy boys or nice patio furniture is a common one. It's like, just come get it. I even did when we dug our pool and I used the sod cutter to get all the sod up. And I had 2 foot by 2 foot sections of nice sod. I said, hey, I got sod, come and get it. And people brought their trucks and came and loaded up their trucks with grass to fill patched areas of their yard. So I like that. And I imagine that this probably isn't regional, right? Like this has got to be everywhere people are doing this. I just think it's like, how known is the individual doing it? We had a guy with a white pickup truck that would come the night before trash day every single evening. And he was specifically interested in like bicycle parts or bicycles or little Power Wheels trucks and stuff. So I think if it's like a known individual that's coming through an area like weekly, that's one thing. If it's somebody that the neighborhood doesn't seem to know, when the inevitable messages start going out of like, who's this guy? And if he's picking through trash, I do think that's a little different.
Mm-hmm. And not only do I think it's not regional, I would think the warmer climate that you live in, the more it happens. I would think in the, southern part of the US, it would be even more common because you can do it year round. Here, you're likely not doing that, December, January, February.
Yeah.
Just walking around or driving around, hopping out when it's cold and icy, trying to dig through people's trash. So, I would say it's probably even more common.
Well, we've got one more question for answers from the middle, but did I ever tell the story on this podcast of the magical dumpster?
I don't think so. It sounds amazing.
So we lived in a townhome in a kind of nice part of the suburbs where it was often the case that people lived there for a very short period of time while they were building their pretty much forever home. And so this was people who were relatively well-to-do in short-term townhomes while they built their house out in the country. And it had one of those large dumpsters that Dylan was describing with a large ramp that went up to where you actually dumped in your trash. So like 20 feet down the ramp, at the bottom of the ramp, people would put objects that they thought were too nice to just be purely pitched. And it was almost like a holding area of, hey, come and get this, right?
Yeah.
So this townhome was new. We were just starting our family. We only had the girls at this point. And I said to Sherry can verify this story. I said to Sherry, you know what would be nice? It would be really cool if we got the girls one of those little Power Wheels vehicles so they could ride around the neighborhood. I kid you not, a week or two later, there was a Go Diego Go Power Wheels mini version at the bottom of that ramp. And I was like, that's crazy. It like granted our wish. So months later, right? I'm telling Sherry, have you ever had an aquarium? She's like, yeah, we had one when I was a kid for a little bit, but not for a long period of time. I said, I've always wanted an aquarium. I want some bala sharks and some Terra. Are they called Terra? Whatever. Some little fish. I want to get an tetras. I want to get a little neon tetras is what I want. I said, I'd love to get an aquarium for our apartment. I kid you not. A few weeks later, there's a 50-gallon aquarium, corner aquarium. So it's made to go in a corner. It's like a pentagon shape. It was sitting on a base, a wooden base. And in the wooden base was all the accessories you needed, the pumps, the gravel, the little forts for the fish to hide in. Like everything was at the bottom of the ramp. So I go out there and start bringing stuff in load at a time. And then I go, you know what would be great? A bag of money. Fun times.
Yeah, something similar would happen at Ohio State on move out day with all the people who didn't want to haul electronics across the country. And so you could go down to the dumpsters and find like printers and computer monitors and keyboards. And I didn't need to participate because I didn't need any of the stuff and wasn't selling it. But if you were into that kind of thing, sometimes even appliances and mini fridges, because like somebody's from California and they're not taking any of that stuff home. It's like they're going to slip a laptop in a bag and they're out. Yeah. And so it was amazing the amount of stuff that you could get in those dumpsters on move out day.
Yeah. This is the first time I've ever had this thought about anything, Corey, but I think you have a killer children's book idea.
The magical dumpster?
The magical dumpster.
Yeah.